What it do, what it do. Welcome to another one over here, Game Chopper TV. Tap in, like, comment, and subscribe, because we are chopping this game over here, man. Had to tap into this one, man. We got the man Chance the Rapper here, representing Chicago, out of Chicago with it. Um, a lot of things going on in Chicago right now. Um, you know, with the ICE and stuff. Well, first they were talking about the National Guards or something like that, deploying troops. That didn't really kick off too well. So, they end up going the ICE route with things and deploying ICE there, and it looks like it's going the heck down. You got some people trying to resist ICE, different things like that. Um, you know, And so you had people lying, talking about that black Americans was getting, targeted by ICE and all this and that, when that wasn't the truth. But where we're going with this is that man, Chance the Rapper, like I say, out of Chicago, feeling some type of way. And like on the backdrop of his performance set, he boom, has this right here. You know what I'm saying? Boom. This performance set, basically. Crazy work right there. And that's how he's feeling. Like I said, it's a lot going on in Chicago right now. And so, what I'm saying? He spoke his piece. A rapper, entertainer, things like that. You know, he feels a certain way about ICE. But there's some things that we have to talk about with that, and why. What I'm saying, let's talk Turkey real quick. Number one, first thing, like I said, they made a thing acting like it was black Americans being targeted. What happens is immigrants get thrown amongst us. They get thrown in our neighborhoods and everything else. So if ICE is coming, yeah, they just in some cases are going to have to float through the black neighborhoods to detect who's an immigrant. You know what I'm saying, and who's not. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what kind of was going on. Which they were saying too, that building that they were rushing, that a lot of people wasn't even supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people weren't even supposed to be living in that building type stuff. And then saying it was overran by Venezuelans and all that old Venezuelan gangs and all that kind of stuff. Crazy work, right? And so I'll say this. I'm black American. As a black American, I can't, I care about the country. I care about America. And I don't agree with people being able to just bum rush in like we saw with the Biden administration, man. People were just literally walking through the border. There was somebody walking up to him and asking, "Where you from?" "Oh, I'm from China." "Oh, where you from?" "Oh, I'm from New Zealand." "Where you from?" "I'm from Mexico, El Salvador." "Oh, where you from?" "I'm from Japan." "Or where you from?" "I'm from Nigeria." "Where you from?" Just like, whoa. Like, dude, just legit, literally just walking in the country. And now look what we got. It was horrible. It was horrible watching. And then they were being provided assistance, being just, they were the ones getting handouts. You know what I'm saying? They were the ones getting handouts. I mean, come on. And so I'm a real black American, and like I say, I care about the country, and I don't agree with stuff like that. And I believe there should be consequences to invading a whole country. I mean, let's be honest. There's consequences when we do anything. Why there's not consequences when breaking that law? But so as a black American, that's where I stand. You would wonder. See, and this is where things get twisted. See, a lot of people in this is that's where it's not unfair at either. what you'll see is a lot of people who doesn't know to look any deeper than to take things at face value. You'll see Chance the Rapper, and you'll say, hey, this is a black person who feels this way about ICE. And if you don't realize what you're dealing with, you'll call yourself going against your best interest off of thinking that this person here who looks black or whatever is talking about some ICE. Let's talk about it here. And let's be honest, Chance the Rapper, yeah, he'd be considered black. But at the same time, he's mixed. Well, he has African ancestry in him, like legit, like his people. Yeah, he has roots in West Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like where I guess his great grandmother, great grandmother, whatever, worked somewhere out there in West Africa, blah blah, whatever. And him and his pops went to go visit. So he has direct roots to West Africa and all that kind of stuff, and so it hits different for somebody like him because he has immigrant, roots in him, foreigner roots in him. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's come over here and been able to become a rapper, which if you don't do your research on people, you'll think he's just a black American rapper that feels this way about ICE, when really he's a black person who has an immigrant background, basically pushing against ICE. So we're not the same, and my stance on this is to any other black Americans who see this. If you don't know any better to look into people backgrounds nowadays, because a lot of people, I'm telling you, nowadays you're thinking people black, artists, singers, rappers and stuff, a lot of people you thought were like legit full stomp down black American, you later on life can come and find out they was really from Kenya, they was West Indian, or they Cameroonian, or they Honduran, or they're just everything else, Puerto Rican, Cuban, and stuff like that. And we sitting up here thinking, yeah, these are people representing us. And then, like in this situation here, on the other hand, real deal black Americans, this is what we own. Reparations, now cut the check. This is what we own, reparations. A black person that's sitting up here talking about ICE, that dude, that's some foreigner stuff right there, and that needs to be taken that way, because some people will see this and think like black people feel like ICE. Well, no, me myself as a black American, how I feel about ICE, I feel like I would about the Army. Thank you for your service. You know what I'm saying? Because that has nothing to do with me. I'm not a foreigner. I don't fool with foreigners like that. And yeah, you bring your your food and stuff over here, and yeah, people patronize your businesses. But other than that, just want a whole bunch of foreigners and immigrants over here as a whole, just boom, and then they sneak over here or whatever, and then boom, once the country protects itself and wants to send the those people who broke the law out of the country, you act like people are supposed to look at that as a morality thing when you protest against breaking the law of this country. I mean, and that's the side he stands on. So that's where it goes when you get to talking about these immigrants and foreigners. They don't necessarily have the best interests of this country. It's more all about just stomping on everything. You know what I'm saying? Just stomping on it and stomping through it, and don't want nobody to stop it at all. But then they'll be very critical of black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why another reason too why it's like, well, nah, I'm definitely not stomping for that, man. I'm kind of Team ICE. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, as far as any real deal black American concerned, you know what I'm saying? if hey, handle your business is what we on. When you get to seeing black people talking like this, or black looking people talking like this, look into their background and see why would they say something like that, and why they're not saying something like this. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I just really wanted to be able to clear up, is just that when you see black people speaking, because that's what I'm saying, you thinking everybody black, next thing you know they're telling you, hey, bring more immigrants over, bring more immigrants over. You're like, why is this black person saying that? I rock with them. What are they doing? I don't really feel like, what do you mean bring more immigrants over? Then you don't, it's so funny to you, you don't understand, like, why is this person saying we don't need reparations and bring more immigrants over? and they're black looking like you. And then if you don't know to look into who they really are, where they really come from, where their parents come from, or whatever, then it won't make sense to you if you don't know that is a thing that you need to do nowadays. You'll be wondering, you'll be, like, say, rooting against your best interest, but it's for his best interest, because once his people get here, whatever, or whoever people, they're going to crap on you, and you're thinking, hey, aren't we all black? No, I'm not you N-word. And it's like, but your people were slaves, and and you'd be like, well, yeah, but I thought, you'll get caught in that kind of sauce. And so I just, this is stuff that needs to be cleared up. He's not black American. To sum it all up, Chance the Rapper, he's not a foundational black American, and so that's why he's basically talking like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's talking like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I just, like I said, I had to clear that one up. There's too many imposters. There's a lot of people cosplaying us, and they're running with it. You know what I'm saying? And then they, like, say, but then when things get real, they're talking against things that doesn't concern us or isn't in our best interest. How many, you think them black people in Chicago want all them foreigners off in their neighborhoods like that? He doesn't care, obviously. But, yeah, so who is suffering at the end of the day from talking about some F-ICE? The people that's got to sit there and get their areas bombarded by these foreigners. So if you look at it, he's actually speaking against black Americans' interest in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? He's more rooting for foreigners in Chicago. Not the same thing, man. We need to, it's just that clear, it's just that simple. Y'all know, let me know what y'all think about this and where you stand on it. You know what I'm saying? And not trying to, chop them off. Not trying to chop on them or anything, but the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth, and this is what's really going on. And this is what black Americans really, this is what we really own. So, you know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. It's another one over here, Game Chopping TV. Tap in, like, comment, and subscribe, because we are chopping this game over here, man.